Good afternoon and welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. My name's Tanya, 68 years old, and for the next 19 weeks I'm going to be living on my UK State Pension and saving my civil service pension to put back some much needed money into my savings from my renovation overspend and furniture. I'm sorry about the noise. I'm still hot. Got that fan somewhere, I need to find it. We haven't got sunshine today, but it's overcast with intermittent sunshine and very close still, so all the windows and doors are open. I hardly slept last night. This is the George little garden and beach dress. You know, it's just a simple t-shirt until I didn't realise they'd sent it in an 8. I could have sworn I ordered a 10, but anyway, it's fine. It's fine, it's stretchy, so it's fine. And I will put the price of both of them up on the screen because I'm going to keep them because the other one doesn't screw up, and it's ideal this time of year for me when I go to aquasize because I can roll it up and put it in my bag, come out and put a dress on and feel nice. Yeah, so it's a no-brainer. 2 dresses for £9.90. So I'll put them up on the screen so you can see what I paid. I will also put up on the screen, although I haven't had it delivered yet, but I'm going to have to keep it anyway. A swimming costume from Vinted. I'm hooked on Vinted, so I've got to stay off it now. There's reasons why I've got to stay off it as well, so we'll come to that shortly. Good stuff. There may be one more dress on there that I might go for because I put a like on it. She's come back and she's taken another £1 off it, so I think it's down to £4 instead of 5, or is it £4.50 instead of 5? So yeah, I might order that and say that's it, I don't need anything else. So I need to apologise for the late replies on some of the vlogs, to the comments, but as you know, I have been very busy with family, the garden and everything else, and filming, and something has to give every now and again. I did catch up the other day completely, but I know I haven't caught up on Friday's ones yet, but I will soon. Now, you saw me do the unboxing, I believe, I've got it filmed, of the chainsaw I bought. It's brilliant. Best thing I've ever bought. Cuts through the branches like butter. The only thing I would say is I have a very, very sore thumb from holding the safety button in. You've got to apply pressure on that at the same time as you pull the trigger on it, and that is hard. The coordination is hard. And after an hour, my poor thumb was really hurting me. And I have to say, I did change the battery, but when I came in, it didn't take very long to recharge. So it was nowhere near used up, the battery. So the best £37 I've spent. Absolutely brilliant. The next thing I need to invest in is a drill. But my husband has kindly offered to bring his drill down next time he comes to bring Bertie. He's going to drill out the 2 stumps that I've got. One of the bushes hasn't left a stump. It's just straggly, so I've got to dig a bit further around that and see what gets exposed over the next week. And I've read online that if I pour Epsom salts on it, it will kill the roots but nothing else around it. Apparently the roots don't like Epsom salt, so I'm going to give it a go because I want to be able to plant near these things. If I don't pay to have them ground out, I want to kill them so that I can take them down a bit further. Money's going to be a bit tight over the next couple of months. I'll come to that shortly. Someone asked about time management and how I manage my time. Well, obviously I have specific punctuations in my week with my exercise: Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. I adhere to that and I will not give that up. This week I have a dental appointment, and the only time they could fit me in on my, it's a checkup as well, and so I was a little bit annoyed that it had to be a Tuesday and it had to be 11:15, which means I don't have time for my exercise this week. So what I may do instead, I may go and do a gym session, because I'd like to fit in a little bit more gym as well, but I don't want to spread myself too thin. So I've got to be careful, because I do a lot of walking when I've got Bertie, but less when I haven't. But nevertheless, I do exercise. I'm in the garden all the time. If you'd seen me yesterday, I think I did 4 trips to the dump with just that one bush and the cherry tree that I had to cut all the dead off it. It was terrible, in such a bad state. And I was worried that part of it was going to come down on the shed, so I was so glad that I bought that gadget. Anyway, back to time management. I often glance at the clock and I think, what can I do in the next half an hour? And I'll set myself up to do something and get it done in that half an hour. So I tend to break jobs down into small sections. Now, the other day I got my sewing machine out early, and I had 2 things on the agenda. I actually had 3, but I forgot the 3rd thing. Silly fool. And that was, I've got a sunbed outside, and I wanted to make like a quilted throw for it, so I can lay on something. I only spend an hour or so, and I always have an umbrella over me. But it's nice to sit in the shade sometimes and have a read. My legs will be out, but most of the top of me is under the shade, because you get enough walking around in the garden and that. But legs are always that bit harder to get a bit of colour on, aren't they? So I made a doorstop and I made a throw for my sunbed out of an old quilt cover, and I cut it so that I could use the poppers to put the little bit of quilt in that I had. I had a single quilt that was used in Bertie's bed, so I've stolen a piece of his bed to make mine. I've got a pillow in my overhead cupboard, so I shall bulk his bed out with a pillow inside the quilt. Here's the throw I made. It fits the sunbed exactly. I used the poppers, and the whole reason this quilt was, I think it was down to £6 in Asda. I know why it was down to £6, because the poppers towards the end of the quilt were out of sync, but I managed to get it long enough to fit the bed where it didn't matter the end ones were out. So yeah, so that fits the bed, and I forgot to do the pillow to go with it. I've got a pillow that'll go with it, so that goes on my bed. And this is just the little doorstop I made. Inside it's got a plastic bag full of kiln sand, which is what I treat my block paving with, because I've got a big bag in the garage. And I just made like a parcel shape and tied it up at the top, and that stops my doors banging when I have all the windows open. So that's what I managed to achieve in half an hour. Yes, and I often do that. I will say, right, I've got half an hour before I'm going to put my tea on. Can I get everything watered around the side in half an hour? Can I do this in half an hour? if I start a job, I break it down into bits. When I started taking down the bush and pointing in the direction of which it was over there, I started by clipping it. I clipped it and I kept taking it down section by section, and I'd come in and I'd have a drink, and then I'd go back out and I'd wrap everything up that I'd taken off already till it got to a manageable size where I could saw through it. And after spending 20 minutes sawing through this bush, that's what made me buy the gadget I bought, which I will insert into this, my unboxing of it and the use of it. And then I took that one to the dump. That was 2 trips to the dump just with that one bush. As I said, that needs digging out over there. The grapevine I took down with the new saw, so that was easy. The other one I took down partially with secateurs and then with the new chainsaw, the 6-inch chainsaw that I bought. But in order to dispose of it, some of the branches were very heavy, so I then had to cut through them again, which I've showed. I did do a little bit of film. I know my camera does not like heat at all, so I have to watch it turning itself off when it feels like it's getting too hot, and that's exactly what it happened when I was filming some of it yesterday. I went to Aquasize, I went for coffee with a friend, and then I came home. I had a quick lunch, I had beans on toast, and got changed, and I started out there, and I didn't stop till 7 o'clock last night. I made 3 appointments at the tip, and I took rubbish after rubbish after rubbish, garden waste. Yeah, and I'm just so pleased. It's just made me feel so much better that I'm now starting to see the light where I can start doing stuff later on in the year. I thought everything was going really, really good. I was going over the lawn with the lawnmower and a stone shot out and smashed my patio door. Now, I'm annoyed because I actually swept everywhere underneath that bush and swept it all back onto the garden bit, onto the soil, to stop this happening. So I don't know where the heck it found, unless it was a piece of wood, but I don't think so. But the noise when it hit the window, I'll show you it in a minute, was quite a dull dud like that. It's only hit one pane. It hasn't taken out the other pane at all. After it happened, initially my initial thoughts were, oh, for goodness sake, sort of thing. Anyway, I put the lawnmower away. I'd finished, put the lawnmower away, and I came in. I went to the dump with the last bit of rubbish. I came back. I got changed, put a swimming costume on, threw a dress on over the top, put my water shoes on that I have for the stones on the beach, drove down to the beach and jumped in the water, and it was absolutely beautiful. And it was while I was in the water floating around, I thought to myself, why am I worrying about a bit of glass? It's a bit of glass. You know, it'll get paid as and when. I'm insured. But part of me is thinking, 2 things I'm thinking at the moment is, yes, I'll get someone round to price it up for me. I'm going to let on to some companies that I've got insurance and some companies that I haven't got insurance, to see if there's a difference in the price. The other thing is, I've decided I'm not going to be too quick off the mark to get it mended, because I've got other work that I want to do in the garden. And putting a border in over that side of the garden is important to me, to be able to get that all planted up, all ready to be planted up at the end of the year for spring next year, and then it can get covered in bark and I can just dig a section out to put more plants in. So that's what I'm looking out for now. Plants for the garden, cheap ones, and anything that I can grow. I've just found some foxglove seeds that I bought last year. They're still in date and I can start them off now, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I want a array of colour over there that I can look at, and perhaps the occasional plant that I can cut some flowers from to bring indoors to cheer me up as well. What's the point of worrying about a piece of glass? You know, if I decide I'm not going to go through the insurance company, and I've got to pay for it myself, it will go on my credit card at some point, and yeah, I shall pay it off. No big deal. I know I can do it. And I hope that I haven't got to touch my holiday money. You know I've got another £900 come October, which is mine from my 13th payment of my state pension. So I'm not worrying about it in the least. It will get done at some point. So that's it. I'm going to add on to this, as I've said, about the chainsaw unboxing and how I used it. I'm not sure what else. There might be something else. But thank you for watching and thank you for your support. And no, I haven't done the donation money yet. I will try to do it this week and get receipts for you. Yeah, it's just going to be one of those weeks, I'm afraid. So, thanks for watching. Good morning. Just a few bits from late last night when I went shopping. I bought a lettuce because mine aren't going to be ready for about another 3 weeks, my next ones. But I am picking leaves off the outside here and there, but I don't want to strip them completely. I do want them to start forming into lettuce. So 89p, oops, there we go, 89p for a lettuce. That was the only thing I bought at Asda yesterday. So that can go back in the fridge. Oh, and while I'm looking in the fridge, I picked one large courgette yesterday. You saw that in part of this film somewhere. Well, hiding behind a leaf was yet another one, and I hadn't spotted it. So yeah, so I've added another pound to my list. And out of full transparency, yes, Lidl had made a mistake in their leaflet by saying their courgettes were £1.89 each. They are in fact £1.89 a kilo, but they'd used the word each. So I've still allowed the other day when I picked two, because their normal price is £2.79 a kilo. So I did allow £1.89 for two courgettes the other day. So I did go into Lidl, and that's when I checked the price. I spent £5.62. I bought this as a little token present for my friend. I had no idea that it had got 30% off it. It didn't say anything on the shelf. As far as I was concerned, I was paying £3.49 for it, but I got £1.05 off it, and that has gone to the back of my book because it's not food. Next was my free Belgian bun, which is in my tummy last night, and brioche buns that were down to 19p. They're going in the freezer. And last but not least, 9 toilet rolls. I'm trying to build up, as I say, my stock. Still no bran and no decaf tea bags, and no decaf tea bags in Asda neither. So fingers crossed for Tuesday in Clacton. I will try both Aldi and Lidl to see if I can get any. And while I was down there, I haven't finished by no means my other bottle of sweet chilli sauce, but when I walked past, I could see this was the last one on the shelf. And this is 1.5 times bigger than their next one down, which is £1. But this is only £1.19. So it made sense that I picked it up and put ready for my pantry, because it's so useful this time of year when you are marinating bits and pieces or making hummus and things like that. It's a great stock item. So far I've spent £45.80, £1.19 in B&M for this, 89p for my lettuce in Asda, £3.18 on the toilet roll and the rolls, because I got this, and that's at the back of my book, and that came out at £2.44 for the diffuser. So I spent £45.80 on food, and so far I have spent £23.31. They're the two dresses that came from George for a grand total, I believe, of £9.30. This one, as you can see, should have been 14, and this one 8. It's just a little one for round the garden, a t-shirty type dress. But I got an extra 10% off, plus they were on offer. So I got both dresses for £9 something. When Asda reduce stuff, check whether you can use your Asda rewards as well to give you an additional 10% off. It is complex. Right, I have undone it just to be able to get the box out easier. Now I will look the price up. I have a feeling I paid £37 for it. It's a mini chainsaw. So it's got battery that I can charge. Has this one got the 2 batteries? Or was it just the one? You get gloves, goggles, 2 batteries. So you can be charging one up while the other is being used. And I shall put that on straight away. And then later, if I pluck up the courage, I'm terrible because I don't like noise. My husband worked in a workshop that was extremely noisy, and it used to frighten the living daylights out of me. I mean, considering I used to work around lorries and things like that, it's rather bizarre because they are very, very noisy. I shall read the instructions because it's flashing that they're all green already. So, as though it's already fully charged. But I do know you've got to treat this blade before you use it. And this is mainly to stop anything flicking back at you. I should be using it at arm's length, I think. A certain amount of safety equipment, although they wouldn't stop anything. I have got some rigger gloves, but whether I can press that trigger, because obviously it's got a bit like my strimmer. You've got to push the button in and pull the trigger back for it, like a safety mechanism, so as soon as your finger comes off, it shuts itself off. But that's the oil and everything in there. And a spare chain as well. Going to pay £19 for a tree saw, one that you have to use manually. So to get this for 37, it was an Amazon one-day deal. I just thought it was too good an opportunity to miss, because, you know, I'm probably not going to stay as strong as I am now. So it will certainly benefit me to be able to use something like this. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Well worth the money. Camera went off, otherwise I would have shown you me sawing the tree.